The first supplement, and probably the most important one that I'd like to dive into today, are probiotics. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, what do probiotics have to do with any of this? And people hear a lot about probiotics, and I like a brand called Solutions 4. There are lots of great brands out there. In fact, speaking of all the supplements, if you want a little package sort of put together of all the ones I recommend today, just call the office. We can get it shipped out to you. Or if you just want the notes from today that sort of lists out specifically not only which ones that I recommend, but more importantly, how much of each thing to take, etc. But let's go back. So probiotics, why are they so critical? Because at the end of the day, 80% of your immune response comes from where? Exactly, your gut. And the problem today is most people's guts are not nearly as healthy as they need to be. Now think about what I just said. 80% of your immune response is housed in your gut. So what's supposed to live there? Lots of good, healthy bacteria, right? So think about your bacteria, you have like these little pockets, right? And inside those pockets, you should have something called villi. Now on those villi, you should have about 100 trillion bacteria. Those bacteria outnumber cells of your body by about 10 to 1. So you could look at it this way. You are literally 10% all these cells and 90% bacteria cells, or so you should be. The challenge is this. The average person, unfortunately, doesn't have as many healthy bacteria as they should because they're killed off by relatively simple things. Things like antibiotics, the rounds we take maybe for dental work 10 years ago, or antibiotics in our food, white flour, sugar, coffee, processed foods, other medications wreak havoc on this. In fact, they estimate in those little pockets that I was just explaining inside the gut, the average person's got somewhere between 5 and 30 pounds of undigested fecal material just sitting in there rotting, which grows yeast and some bad bacteria. This is possibly you if you notice yourself bloating, reflux, less than 2 well-formed bowel movements a day. Those are all signs that you might benefit from probiotics, particularly now as they strengthen the immune system. So that all being said, what type to take? Well, the type I always look for are things that, first of all, are enteric-coated so they make it past your stomach acids. The next thing you want to know is, well, how many live organisms are in there and how long do they guarantee that they will be in there for? Those are just a few of the things to look for. By the way, when it comes to gut health and those healthy bacteria, they do a lot of other really important things. Things like make serotonin, which most people don't know. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that keeps us upbeat, happy, healthy. It's like your natural antidepressant, right? Serotonin is converted into melatonin. So if you find yourself not sleeping well, it might be because of the bacteria in your gut. Who knew? Other things that it does, it lowers blood pressure. Studies have shown it also reduces cholesterol, stabilize blood sugar. Most of your vitamin B is actually made in your gut by these healthy bacteria. So if your energy is low, particularly if you're not digesting food well, if, again, you feel any kind of digestive symptoms, take a good probiotic. Can't tell you how important that is. Again, on a foundation of the right food. The next supplement on the list that we really is kind of our go-to when it comes to immune system boosting is a combination of vitamin A and vitamin D. You can get them from a couple of different places, but in general, again, if you want my notes on where I get everything from, or you want to just get them from us, just shoot me an email. Again, it's in the notes section. Vitamin A and vitamin D, a couple studies have shown that they can boost immune system function when taken for about 7 days in relatively large doses. Now, I know there are people out there who are like, you just should never do that. I would kind of disagree just based on clinical stuff, what I've seen and research that's out there. So what I would suggest, vitamin A, about 100,000 IU for 7 days, combined with about 50,000 IU per day of vitamin D for about 7 days. If you're pregnant, don't do this. Little kids, not good for. I wouldn't do it any longer than 7 days, but it has been shown to boost the immune system. So that would be my suggestion. In fact, a Brazilian study showed that vitamin D was actually more effective than the flu shot for preventing the flu. So I think that's a really good one. And by the way, I don't think I've ever tested someone who had enough vitamin D in their system. So taking it after all this, probably 3,000 to 5,000 IU a day is probably a really good idea either way. Another supplement, super helpful and relatively inexpensive. In fact, this one was found to be really effective. Remember the bird flu thing that was out a while back? Is selenium. It's just a micronutrient, an element that we're all supposed to have anyway. I'd suggest somewhere around 200 to 400 for just sort of a preventative, just keeping your immune system strong. Should you get some kind of symptoms, flu-like symptoms, you could take about 200 micrograms per day, up to 4 times a day. And do that until the symptoms disappear, and that should help tremendously. Another one that I really like is colloidal silver. We have this in my house all the time, along with everything else that I'm going to mention here. I like colloidal silver in a spray, right? Because colloidal silver is antiviral, antibacterial, and so they make a little spray. You can get it in a lot of different places. Just spray it in your mouth. They even have sprays that go up the nose, right? Because where do viruses tend to enter? Nose, mouth. So if you coat these areas, stands to reason you can kill some stuff off before it really has a chance to get going in your system. Another big one, almost everybody's heard about this, even Mayo Clinic recommends zinc to boost immune system function. The thing with zinc is it has been shown to not only lengthen the severity of symptoms of cold and flu, but so decrease the severity and decrease the length. The idea is to take about 60 to 100 milligrams with food preferably, because zinc like that high can be kind of rough on your stomach. But again, you don't have to do it forever. Just do it when you think, all right, I'm feeling like I'm a little run down and or I want to boost my immune system. Another supplement I love, this one is made again by Solutions 4, is something called Body Purifier. Body Purifier is a combination of 11 herbs. Now, what I love about these 11 herbs, the way this is all combined, is that they're natural antiviral, antibacterial when put together. They also kill parasites in the gut, kill yeast, lots of nasties. It also acts as a binder. It'll bind things like heavy metals, herbicides, pesticides to help cleanse the body, right? Because look, at the end of the day, the cleaner your body is, certainly the stronger your immune response is going to be. So that's why I recommend Body Purifier. Usually about 8 to 16 of those a day. If you're really worried about, hey, my immune system down, am I fighting something? You can do that for a few days at a time. I love that one. Going back to probiotics, another one that works well with probiotics is something called intestinal cleanse. Intestinal cleanse, remember those pockets that I showed you or I explained? Normally I draw this all out for you, but just to get this video going. Those little pockets that hold all that fecal material, well, getting it out is really important. Intestinal cleanse does that really well. It draws all the stuff out so you can start growing back those healthy little hair-like fibers in your gut. That's where the bacteria live. So taking that for a period of time to make sure everything's clean and flowing, it increases peristalsis, it gets things kind of moving again, super important. So the next thing that I would highly recommend is essential oils. We have essential oils like everywhere in my house. One in particular that's great for viruses is grapefruit oil. So I usually put a few drops in my mouth. Doesn't taste the best, but hey, not a big deal. It's good for you anyway. And you can also use a diffuser and diffuse things like On Guard is one of them. What's the other one? Thieves is a good one. You could do grapefruit oil. You could even do tea tree oil. Some of these oils have great antibacterial, antiviral properties. So get a diffuser. You can get those on Amazon. Get the oils from places like Young Living or doTERRA. And you can get them at Whole Foods, right? So the idea being, if you have these essential oils in the air, it tends to kill airborne viruses, things that get stuck on countertops, etc. Another product I love is something called Biocidin. It's from Biobotanicals, a company. It's just amazing for killing pretty much everything. It's also a spray. I've got 4 kids at home. We're using this stuff constantly. And I don't say this braggingly, but I don't think our kids have ever been to a pediatrician after they were born. And I think that's because we just take a lot of the steps that I'm talking about today. Keep their diet really clean, avoid processed foods, give them things that help boost their immune system. And that's the norm, right? They're not genetically superior. They're just, in general, fed the right stuff. And we try to keep the stuff that's bad away from them. Let's see, what else? Vitamin C. Vitamin C is one that everybody hears like, oh, you got to take a lot of vitamin C. I'll be honest, I haven't come across a lot of great research that says you need mega doses of vitamin C. It seems like 500 milligrams a day is probably more than enough. That's really what I would stick with. I don't really even take a whole bunch extra, even when I have a cold or a flu. I get about 500. You know, a good source of those, of course, is vegetables and fruits, and I talk all about that in a different video. But if you're going to take vitamin C, you might consider getting a buffered kind. I also mentioned scooping vitamin C into shakes. So when I make a veggie shake of any kind, I scoop a scoop in, and what it does is it just helps it from oxidizing, so it keeps it fresh longer. Just a thought. What else? Gosh, there's a lot more. But that is a great foundation. One product you might consider getting online is something called Bryotech. I think it's at bryotechusa.com. It was shown recently in a study in Washington State. It's a spray, it's like a hand sanitizer to kill about 99.99% of coronavirus on contact. So I think that'd be a great idea. That's what we're using at the office now. Work better than some of the more common hand sanitizers out there. So that's it for today. The idea with supplements is don't just lean on them. Again, create a great foundation of healthy foods. If you have absolutely any questions, please contact me. Happy to get together, maybe even a little package, because some of the supplements that I've found that are the best, because here's the challenge with supplements. According to the FDA, they recently said that about 80% of supplements out there, what it says on the label isn't actually in the bottle. So if you know you've got a great brand, then go with it. If you're not sure and you want us to put something together for you, hey, I'm happy to. It's a little challenging sometimes these days because a lot of these type supplements are off the shelves. We have a pretty good stockpile of it though. So, hey, it was great chatting with you. If there's anything I could do, if you want to sit down and create any kind of customized game plan specifically for you, just give the office a call, schedule a consultation, be happy to sit down and talk with you. Sometimes people aren't so much just looking to boost immune system function, but maybe you're sitting at home going, yeah, okay, I've got that I'm concerned about, but I also would like to lose some weight and maybe get off some medications, etc. Hey, like what better time than this now that we're all kind of sitting around at home? Anyway, have an awesome night, be safe, and I look forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.